it's about forming a policy for this country. And this is where we have observers from the government also sitting in the audience. But what I want to warn you is that I'm going to be taking the liberty as a moderator to even ask questions to the audience. And you have to be prepared. It's not going to be the other way around. It's going to also known to us as Shaktiman, and who has engaged kids for ages. And today, we couldn't find a better person than him to become the chairman of Children's Film Society, which has completed 60 years this year. And it has created you with Nina. So today, what format we're going to really follow, and whether we are going to do the right things in the next few years, whatever has happened. But there has been certain demands, there have been certain achievements, there have been certain things which have been disappointments. But how do you really counter this? And if the act is made, how it's going to really help India move forward? So I think what we'll do is that we'll take the perspective one by one. And in the first round, what we would do is, we would do about 3 to 4 minutes perspective of each panelist. And as that perspective is there, we will actually come to the right questions, and I would make my notes to take it to the next level for the things, and then we can ask some questions to the audience, and then we can actually have some of the open session. So what we would do is we would start quickly with Subhashji. With his perspective, we'll go to Dr. Srinivasan, then we'll go to Rajiv Chilaka, we'll go to Mukesh ji, we'll go to Nishit, and we'll come to Nina at the last, because she actually is one of them who actually deals with every week. There are statistics that are shown to her through the TRP ratings, and she knows what kids are doing. So having this perspective, how she would actually react to the whole thing. So Subhashji, I would request to keep it at 3 minutes so that we can actually then get engaged into more constructive stuff.
Good morning. I wanted to speak for 30 minutes, but he wants me to speak in 3 minutes. The topic is intense, wide, and new. And I congratulate Ashish ji and all those जो मंच पे उपस्थित गुणीजन है कि आपने इसमें पार्टिसिपेट किया, because I especially came for this as a filmmaker and as an educationist, which always keeps me worried what kind of education we are giving to our children. And if you look at the importance, it is one of the most important subjects and issue today, and I do not understand why the policy makers on the corporate or the broadcaster do not understand this. This is one of the very burning issue. I would say I would take it on front first. Why we have been the victim of a very mediocre education, very mediocre communication in our life, and that is why we have remained mediocre for the last 70 years. Leave aside the 5% brilliant and excellent people. 95% we have been mediocre. Let us accept that. But if we want the India to be the global nation, and if you believe in Vasudeva Kutumbam, it means you should bring your own culture to the table of the global scenario. If you do not bring India in front of the global, you do not stand, you are one of them, or you are an individual for them. If the Indian culture has said that we are one family in global family, but we are following all the time other countries. It's very sad to see that our television programs, 100% television programs concepts are borrowed by the Westerns. Half of our films are borrowed by the Westerns. Because we have nothing, we have no education that time when we were a child. That let me study about our Indian culture. We have 10,000 stories in our Indian culture, in heritage. We have it. Chandrakanta Santati, we have a Bhutrang, we have Dutvakyam, we have a great plays, great Ramayana, great Mahabharata. I was very sad in one of the function when I asked one young college student, I said, "Do you know the name of father of do you know the name of the father of Rama, Lord Rama?" She did not know. She said, I think. I said, you do not know that Dashrath was the name of? He says, no. It means she had graduated herself, she has done MBA and she doesn't know about it. Why? Because the kids have been speaking English, they have been influenced by all the expensive luxuries of the Western. They are going on different track altogether and they feeling doing your own culture is a downtown market. It is really shit. It is not cool. Why? Because since childhood we have not infused, we have not educated them. So that is why this is the most important than any kind of education. That is why this act has to be brought. That is why the policymakers have to think, broadcasters have to think, CSR, people have to think that they have to make it a big part in their contributions for the kids' content. And how they are going to do? We have able people like Ashish ji hain, Mukesh ji hain, बहुत अच्छे लोग हैं, वो करेंगे. But first let's understand the subject. If we want the growth of India, let us at least shape now the boy of 2030. 2030 में हमारा लड़का कैसा होगा उसको तो हम कर सकते हैं. हम तो आधे बर्बाद हो चुके हैं. इसीलिए रेस्टलेसनेस है, इसीलिए so many opinions हैं, because we have not been taught what is the values, what is our culture, how we were the richest people in our brain, through our mind, through our knowledge. We had so many Vedas written 4,000 years before any other religion came. We do not know our own religion. So that is the tragedy, and that is why I think this issue is very, I congratulate everybody who is really heading for this kind of issue, and I will be very happy to contribute anytime in my small bit, in my small role. Whenever you need Ashish ji, I am there. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I think Mr. Subhash Ghai, make sure you capitalize on the young population we have and we are going to have. We need to have some formal way of looking at it. And a person like me, I've sacrificed or put in a lot of effort in my life to improve the quality of learning. I'm all willing to contribute to any extent. We have psychological studies, we have got a lot of academics talking about it. We can have parents coming in, contributing their part, how they brought up their children. I don't want our children to miss out, like Mr. Subhash Ghai said, they don't know anything about our culture. Then what will they have? If they have an iPad and one cell phone, it won't do for their life. When they hit a crisis in life, what would see them through is only their character. And that character is built before the child is about 10 years old. We have a lot of teenage crisis. Why does it come at teenage? Because till teenage we take it very easy because the child listens to you. When the child doesn't want to listen to you, the child wants to be independent, there is no mechanism of being very sensible. So the most crucial age in a child's life is the first 8 years, and this is the time where they are exposed to maximum digital content. Later on they start doing some research. So I'm all for making a set of regulations in the form of an act, but it should be an imaginative act which helps the parents, which helps the children, not unimaginative act which will restrict everything and look everything to be a criminal. We have to be imaginative in that, and I think it's a great step forward, and I congratulate Ashish for taking up this step because somebody has to initiate something. Once he has initiated, let's all contribute, pour in our efforts, and make it a great beginning for our country. Thank you.
I've really been a big fan of Shaktiman, and our show, we were lucky that we were placed beside you long time back. My first show was Bongo, used to come right after Shaktiman in 2004, on Doordarshan. 2004, so that's around the time when I think Shaktiman was like. Yes. So we were there very brief on prime time. After that, even we didn't have the money to do it. So, great. So it's an honor, and thank you, gentlemen, everyone. Good afternoon. So definitely agree that India needs those characters. I went to my dad and said I want to meet Donald Duck. So he said you want to go to US. I said okay, Superman will do. So he said said, how do I? So who's in India? I would like to meet an Indian superhero, Indian character. So he said, at the moment, I think nobody else is there, but there are some gods like, they're super powerful, but I think, and as a kid I knew that, okay, to meet God you have to die. So I said, okay, then I can't meet them now. So that remained very deeply in me for a long time, that at some point I would like to create an Indian superhero or Indian character for kids, with whom kids can connect. You don't need to, I mean, like when I started reading Archie's comics and different things, I was a great comic fan, I was a Tintin fan. So a lot of times I didn't understand as a kid what is a hamburger. I mean, I had no clue. But of course, figured it out very soon. But there's so many things that we don't know terms and stuff, and there is a different culture. I mean, in Archie comics, they talk about dating a lot. So I was very exciting when I would go out, I could go on dates. So it's something, it's a different culture which at that time in India it wasn't at all like this, what it is. So it kind of, in back of my mind I said, how come we have so many people, and everywhere in the newspapers, from those days to today, they talk about the Indian population, there are so many kids. And somehow at any given point in the last 50, 60 years, I don't think we have done enough for kids. And I think it's time that we do something for Indian children, because they are our future. And if they grow up with confidence, with a belief, I mean, I'll give you an example. When I started Greenwood and I told, okay, one day we need to make a movie like Lion King, one day we need to make a movie like Tarzan. Everybody said, no, we can't do it. I said, why you cannot do it? Oh, you don't know, the Westerners are different. The thing. I said, listen, I think they got 5 hands, we got 5 hands, 5 fingers, sorry. 5 fingers, we have 5 fingers. We have a brain, they have a brain. There's nothing special. I mean, today we're using the same software they're using. Everybody, we have the same tools. So I definitely want each, and so this generation is different. We have been kind of brought on that West is better kind of a thing, like they all mentioned.
I entirely agree with Rajiv. What phase he has gone through, I gone through before him. I even have seen मेरे घर में मतलब एक छोटा बच्चा है उस 50 जियो जो टॉयज को वो बाल्टी में पहले नहलाता था और बाहर से उसकी मम्मी कहती शिवम जल्दी करो स्कूल बस आ रही है you know used to हाँ मम्मी आ रहा हूँ नहाता हूँ करता हूँ. I said why don't we have our own superhero? We kids are always आज भी वही situation. I'm talking about before 97. I found that we don't have a superhero, and people are watching Captain Planet, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. I said, why don't we have our own superhero? And then I found out it is not so easy to make a superhero. You have to hang on a wire, you have to go to skyscrapers, you have to go to the roads. It is not just one satellite channel, एक कमरे में एक बंगले में उसके एक दिन में episode बना लिया. The first episode of mine took about 21 days to make the first episode itself. So I agree with it, and today also मैं agree करता हूँ कि आज भी हमारे बच्चे. मैं ये बात जो अब कहने जा रहा हूँ मैं पिछले 15 सालों से कह रहा हूँ. अब मैं कह रहा हूँ जब मैं चेयरपर्सन बन गया हूँ, FICCI का मैं चेयरपर्सन बन गया हूँ. बात वही है जो मैं 97 से पहले भी कहता था, आज भी वही कहना चाहता हूँ कि हमारे कि बच्चे अगर देश को सुधारना, if you want to improve the mindset of the country's citizens, बच्चों को पकड़िए. बच्चों की स्लेट खाली होती है, बड़ों में तर्क वितर्क होता है, किंतु परंतु होता है. ये तो ठीक है किंतु, ये तो ठीक है परंतु, बच्चे की स्लेट खाली होती है, उसमें आप जो दोगे वो भरा जाएगा और वो उसको जिंदगी भर याद रखेगा. इसलिए मैं बड़े बड़े फंक्शनों में कह चुका हूँ, बड़े बड़े पॉलिटिशियंस को कह चुका हूँ, आप लोग बड़ों को पकड़ते हो, मैं छोटे बच्चों को पकड़ रहा हूँ. मुझे याद है वेंकैया जी ने एक बार वाजपेयी जी को कहा था, मुकेश जी इज सिक्योरिंग आवर फ्यूचर गोल्स. मेरे इलेक्शन कैंपेनिंग में 15 रो में बच्चे बैठे होते जिसका कोई वोट नहीं होता था, ऐसे बैठ के ऐसे करते रहते. आई सेड वेंकैया जी 3 बच्चों को एक वोट बना दीजिए, मैं आपको जिता दूंगा. So, मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ एंड कि हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री भी कहते हैं, इवन सुभाष जी ने भी कहा कि हम हमेशा कहते हैं कि आगे जाकर हिंदुस्तान जो है वो हमारा सबसे यूथफुल नेशन होगा. We will be the most youthful nation in the world. मैं एक कदम आगे बढ़कर एक सवाल बार बार उठाता हूँ, कि कोई ये क्यों नहीं पूछता, कोई ये क्यों नहीं कहता कि वो जो यूथफुल वहां पहुंचेंगे वो कितने शक्तिशाली होंगे, कितने शक्तिमान होंगे। माफ करना, आजकल के बच्चे इतने फास्ट भाग रहे हैं, इतने फास्ट भाग रहे हैं, दे जस्ट रन, दे डोंट नो व्हाई दे आर रनिंग बिकॉज समबडी एल्स इज रनिंग। अगर हम नहीं पहुंचेंगे तो वो चीज वहां पर उठा लेगा, वहां पहुंचते तो मालूम नहीं पड़ता कौन सी चीज उठाने के लिए आए थे, बट दे आर जस्ट रनिंग। मेरे घर में एक मेरे नेव्यू की एक छोटी सी बच्ची है, वो कहती है कि मुझे टीवी में डाल दो, मैं शक्तिमान मामू से मिलना चाहती हूँ। उसे ये नहीं पता कि टीवी क्या है, उसे ये नहीं पता कि शक्तिमान क्या है। वही बच्ची आया के साथ बैठकर सास भी कभी बहू देख रही होती है, बिकॉज माँ या तो किटी पार्टी में जाती है, बाप कमाई करने जाता है और बच्चे बड़े होते हैं आया के साथ में। दिस इज द इश्यू। मैं हमेशा माँ बाप से कहता हूं, बच्चों को वक्त दीजिए, बच्चों को दोस्त बनाइए, बच्चे को देखिए क्या कर रहा है क्या नहीं कर रहा। बच्चा पहले अपनी माँ से सीखता है, फिर बाप से सीखता है, फिर अगर माँ बाप नहीं होते तो आया से सीखता है, लैंग्वेज चेंज हो जाती है, अरे अबे तबे शुरू हो जाता है। उस बच्ची को शादी का पता नहीं है और वो सीरियल देख रही है जिसमें हर ननद कहती है देखती हूँ तुम्हारी शादी कैसी होगी। क्या आज चौथी क्लास में पढ़ने वाला बच्चा 12वीं का नॉलेज ले रहा है, माँ खुश होती है मेरा बच्चा कितना स्मार्ट है। माफ करना, हम अपने एक अगर आदमी चौथी का 12वीं का नॉलेज लेगा तो देयर वुड हैव बीन नो सिस्टम ऑफ फर्स्ट, सेकंड, थर्ड, फोर्थ, फिफ्थ, सिक्स्थ। One has to grow, the mind has to grow slowly. वो बच्चा अगर 12वीं का नॉलेज लेगा तो या तो वो ओवर स्मार्ट हो जाएगा या भ्रमित हो जाएगा। He will not become what he is supposed to become. मैं हमेशा से कहता हूं कि आज के बच्चों से उनका बचपन छीना जा रहा है। माँ उसको पकड़ के बोलती है पढ़, वो अपने ड्रीम्स उसमें से निकालती है, क्योंकि आजकल माओ में घुस गया, उसकी साड़ी मेरी साड़ी से ज्यादा सफेद क्यों का कॉम्प्लेक्स है। सहेली का बच्चा नंबर 2 पर है, मेरा बच्चा 8 पर है, तो पढ़ ना। व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से, बच्चों का इमेजिनेशन ट्रेमेंडस होता है, उनको छोड़ दीजिए। आज के बच्चे के पास फ्री टाइम नहीं है, या तो वो निकलोडियन देख रहा होता है, या फिर वो पोगो देख रहा होता है, या फिर वो कार्टून, या फिर अपने डिजिटल देख रहा होता है। देयर इज नो टाइम टू गो आउट एंड प्ले। एंड देन देख भी जो रहा होता है, वही बात मैं उठाना चाहता हूँ कि जो कुछ भी हम कंटेंट पेश करते हैं उनके सामने, माफ करना, इट इज नॉन इंडियन, इट इज नॉट इंडियन। दे नो, एज करेक्टली सेड, दशरथ का नाम तक नहीं, where there are nobody who is controlling what is being shown on these satellite channels. महाभारत में कैरेक्टर बदल दिए जाते हैं, कोई ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं देता उसके बारे में। मैं मजाक से कहता हूँ किसी और धर्म में करके दिखाओ तो तलवारें निकल आएंगी। एक हिंदू धर्म है तो भीष्म पितामह जाके सीधा सत्यवती को पूछता है देवी क्या प्रॉब्लम है, कभी नहीं पूछता बाप के पास गया, इसमें बाप ही नहीं। सो कहीं ना कहीं देयर इज नो कंट्रोल ऑन व्हाट हैज बीन शोन, इट इज बीन शोन। जैसे आपकी महाभारत अच्छी थी, ये महाभारत अच्छी नहीं है, पर मैं बोलता हूँ चेंज किया, उसका ऑब्जेक्शन क्यों नहीं आप? धृतराष्ट्र को बॉडी बिल्डर बना दिया गया है। सो देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ थिंग्स आई वुड लाइक अ कंट्रोल ऑफ सम काइंड, बिकॉज पहले जैसे मैंने कहा बच्चा माँ से सीखता है, फिर बाप से सीखता है, फिर आया से सीखता है, स्कूल जाता है, टीचर से सीखता है, दोस्त बनते हैं, दोस्त से सीखता है। माँ बाप को जानना चाहिए। आप कंटेंट सैटेलाइट ऊपर से आता है, उसको बंद नहीं कर सकते, पर आप अपने घर की खिड़की दरवाजे तो बंद कर सकते हैं। पुत्र, आप देखिए आपका बच्चा क्या दोस्त बना रहा है। क्यों ड्रग्स में चले जाते हैं बच्चे? क्योंकि माँ बाप के पास वक्त नहीं होता। Somebody has to guide. I'm happy that Ashish has raised a point that this should have been an act to ask questions. Why are you showing this? Like Subhash said, we have Ramayana, we have Mahabharata, we have Chandrakanta, we have. अब एक महाभारत पे आप 100 फिल्में बना सकते हैं। इतने ट्विस्ट, इतनी कहानियां है उसके अंदर। एक जमाने में सलीम जावेद साहब जाते थे हॉलीवुड, जाकर बैठ के फिल्में देखते थे, वीडियो पे नोट करके स्टोरी लेकर आते थे। आज कोई जरूरत नहीं, आपके पास महाभारत है, आपके पास रामायण है, आपके पास कैरेक्टर्स ही कैरेक्टर्स है। बट हु एंड देन इफ आई कम टू चिल्ड्रन कंटेंट, 2 प्रॉब्लम्स मुझे दिखती है। एक तो प्रोड्यूसर डरता है, जैसे हमारे राजीव ने कहा था कि हम फिल्म बनाते, फिल्म चलती नहीं है। मैं कहता हूँ बच्चों को पकड़िए, उसके माँ बाप फ्री आते हैं, आप बच्चों को पकड़िए तो सही। Give them content which they should watch, entertaining, educative but entertaining also. मेरे CFSI का यही प्रॉब्लम है, 250 फिल्में बनी, become शक्तिमान and get things done from the ministry, because यहाँ हर चीज, मैं 9 महीने पहले एंटर किया है, जिंदगी में पहला मेरा ये जॉब है गवर्नमेंट, and I am learning that nothing moves unless the file moves. You have to write apply, get the answer. So we have to do it, and let's do it. I am with you. I am with all the people who want to do something for kids. I always say, Mukesh Khanna is with you, Shaktiman is with you, Bhiju Kirana is with you.
We have a slogan that says "Make an Indian," and the only way we can make an Indian, I don't think my grandson is going to feel like an Indian after 20 years, because there is nothing Indian in him. Except that he's born, he's kind enough to invite me here to speak. I really don't even know why I'm here, but thanks to him. And I really feel that I've been in all the cities of the India. You look at the Indian content that was 5 years ago, the percentage, our roots, we can fly as much as we want. But if we have more to say, so thank you very much.
Words have spoken today. I don't know whether it's a good thing to be last.
But what happens is that it is definitely very, very important. At the same time, the reach is also very important. With the pay TV channel, you are able to reach only to a particular extent. But when you have a free-to-air terrestrial broadcasting, which most of the countries have done it successfully, you are actually able to reach a lot. I think something that would actually balance out, you need to do the right balancing of education and entertainment, and also look at the parenting as an aspect. In fact, the Kids Content Act should also have a guideline for the parenting as far as the content is concerned, and I think that's something which is going to build differently. But what happens when the best creativity comes out? What's happening right now is the producer is getting challenged. When you go to CFSI says that I'll keep all the rights, and you created an idea, I'll keep all the rights. You go to the broadcaster, and broadcaster says, you created an idea, this is my tagline, this is my price, and you give me all the rights under the sun. Where does the producer go? Today that's not there. There's no space for children films. So I would like you to really see what in the act should be included, so that we can also get the release of the films, and we'll come to the television model later. You have released Delhi Safari. Sound please.
Hello. Yeah. And it is really, our film was released by Disney in India. I mean, we really couldn't get a better partner to release the film. But really what happened with the film, we could not, I told my business partner that, if we recover even our marketing cost, we should be happy in India. He said, Nishit, kya baat kar raha hai yaar? How can you be so negative? I said, I'm just being honest. And believe me, we recovered our marketing cost of the film, which is probably not even 10% of the cost of a Salman Khan or a Shah Rukh Khan film. Our film in China, the third largest Bollywood film after Piku, there was another one film, the third largest revenue of a Hindi film in China was Delhi Safari. It was released in 1200 theaters. Something I think China is doing right. And children are not really so judgmental and so discriminatory like adults. If children in China could see a film in 1200 theaters, I'm sure children in India would have liked to see. But there is something not happening. I'm too new in this business to define what is not happening. Something is not happening for these children to go and see a film which is a completely 100% film, right from the drawing to the final rendering, done in India. Everything is India. Our character's name is Bajrangi. Govinda and other actors have dubbed for our film. But our film could not be seen by Indians in our country. I have Indians who are living in LA who are watching the film on Netflix and telling me, Nish, really great film, we loved it. But I don't think I'm rarely getting calls from anybody in India who are saying that we have seen the film. So there is something missing, and I think this Content Act, Kids Content Act that Ashish is trying to push, something needs to be done, I think, because as a society there is no mechanism to push this. So we need some kind of impetus from government to help us to promote this, and I think even for the government this can become billions of dollars worth business, which means taxation to the government, which means money to the government, which means employment to the people of this country. So I really believe that we should have some mechanism. We need to create certain kind of act. So if something is not being self-motivated, it is forced to be done, the results of which can be seen after 5 to 10 years. In a small country like Korea, we have sold $2.5 million of tickets, theatrical tickets of our film. I don't even want to sadly tell you the amount of money that we have made in this country. We have made money on the film, and almost not hardly not even 1% of that money to us has come from our own country. And that is the status of the Indian animation film business. And I don't know, Rajiv may have a lot of other things probably to share, but he also is making films and we all know what is happening with the films. So Ashish, we want to thank you for, inspiring.
I think you don't need to thank
There has to be something that can work on autopilot by conscientious people who are staffed to do these certifications and badge it for age appropriateness. I would recommend that parallelly to the Act. The Act itself has to call out this regulatory framework which is outside.
शक्तिमान को क्यों नहीं बनाते? You know what he said? कितने साल चलेगा आपका टीवी पर? I couldn't answer, but 7 years तक चला दूरदर्शन. यही बात मैंने हैदराबाद में कही कि आप 250 करोड़ खर्च करते हो और आप बनाते हो बाहुबली. 10 करोड़ खर्च करो भाई, बच्चों की फिल्म भी तो बनाओ. We need producers to mindset change करो. जैसे somebody said, मुकेश जी अगर आप अमेरिका में होते ना तो आपका टावर होता, मतलब वहाँ पर सुपरमैन का टावर है पूरा. आप अगर यहाँ पर ऐसे ना, we have the less enterprising nature as far as the kids content is concerned, and that has to be changed. More money has to be put in. Now people have to prove, like in TV I prove कि बच्चे की सीरियल चल सकती है, बच्चों का सुपर हीरो चल सकता है, क्योंकि मैंने बच्चों के लिए लोग छोटी चीज बनाते हैं. मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ बच्चों के लिए बड़ों को बड़ो चीज बनानी चाहिए. That's what I made Shaktiman and I am today reaping with it. But again I say, पैसा कौन डालेगा? हर प्रोड्यूसर डरता है. हमारे यहाँ एक संतोषी माँ बनती है, 10 संतोषी माँ बनती है. एक सास भी कभी बहू बनती है तो 50 सास भी कभी बहू बनती है. One has to prove a children film hit, or as Bheem is hit, as Shaktiman was hit. Somebody has to prove. But that again is कि मैं किसी प्रोड्यूसर को पकड़ के नहीं बोल सकता. I'm telling it safe as I. आप आइए, आप 2.5 करोड़ लगाइए, 2.5 करोड़ मैं लगाता हूँ, चलो 5 करोड़ की फिल्म बनाते हैं. हमारे यहाँ पर बजट सिर्फ 10 करोड़ मिलता है हमको, which is absolutely insufficient. मुझे तो राज्यसभा के मेंबर्स मिले थे, उन्होंने कहा मुकेश जी 5 करोड़. मैंने कहा मैं 10 का 25 करोड़ 20 करोड़ करना चाहता हूँ. He said 5 करोड़ हमारी तरफ से ऐड कर दीजिए मुकेश जी, बच्चों का कंटेंट है. People
110 करोड़ मांग रहे हैं.
हम आप 110 करोड़ मांग रहे हैं, which is the right amount.
Every year for 10 years.
मेरे 5 joint ventures अटक गई हैं because we don't have the clause in CFSI to make a joint venture, जिनमें आशीष जी की भी है. 3 एनिमेशन फिल्में मैंने ओके कर दी थी, 2.5 हम लगाए, 2.5 आप लगाइए. लास्ट मोमेंट में मालूम पड़ा NFDC के पास क्लॉज है जॉइंट वेंचर का, आपके पास नहीं है. ऐसे व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दैट? आपको ग्रो करना है तो जॉइंट वेंचर इज द ओनली प्रोपोजिशन. इसलिए मैं प्रोड्यूसर्स पैसे लगाने को तैयार हैं. मेरे टचवुड within this 9 months there are people who want to. Neeraj Pandey wants to make, Anupam Kher wants to make, Rajkumar Santoshi wants to make. The moment he found कि आप हमारे साथ जुड़ सकते हैं, मैंने कहा आओ. पर इससे ज्यादा काम किया जा सकता है from the level of government. जो आप कर रहे हैं, पैसे दीजिए, एक्ट बनाइए, make things easy for a producer of children film to make a children film. उनके माइंडसेट को दीजिए. आप सब्सिडी देते हो, अगर आपके यूपी में शूट करो तो आप सब्सिडी देते हो, बाहर की कंट्री में शूट करते हो तो फैसिलिटी देते हैं. आप बोलिए चलिए आप चिल्ड्रन फिल्म बनाइए, हम आपको सब्सिडी देते हैं. आप एंटरटेनमेंट टैक्स माफ कर दीजिए बच्चों के लिए, बिकॉज बच्चों के कंधों पर हमारे देश का भविष्य टिकने वाला है. अगर वो कंधे मजबूत नहीं होंगे तो हमारा देश कभी भी सुपर पावर बनकर नहीं बढ़ सकता. सो फॉर किड्स एवरीबॉडी इज रेडी. Government will take time, but government is realizing. आपने बहुत अच्छा presentation किया, मैंने पढ़ा आपका presentation. This presentation should happen because everybody must start thinking of kids. Film और TV से बड़ा कोई medium नहीं है. Effect करता है. एक बार शाहरुख खान ने कहा था कि we are not मसीहास, we are entertainers. I don't agree with him. I said you are मसीहा. अगर शाहरुख खान अगर अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड को उठा के 2 वाले से फेंक देता है तो एक बैठा हुआ बेगूसराय को बोलेगा शाहरुख खान ने फेंका तो हम भी फेंक सकते हैं. You have a medium. अगर आप विलन फेंकता है तो फर्क नहीं पड़ता, लेकिन हीरो फेंकता है, it is so effective. So why don't you use this medium to educate children? They are getting into wrong direction. Give them. They love to watch contents, but they are watching. वही इतने छेद करूँगा तो मैं इतने छेद करूँगा कि पता नहीं लगेगा. These are the type films they watch because they don't have the contents. So government should do all this.
Actually, the good news is that in this year we have been able to push the Maharashtra government to make entertainment tax free for the kids film in animation space. And also bring in a 30 lakh rupees subsidy for anybody making an animation film in Maharashtra.
Good. That is what we needed.
Some way we did. We are pushing it in 11 other states. Let's see. My question to you, Subhash, you mentioned about CSR. I think it's a very, very important point that, this is one space which actually requires a little bit of CSR input. What do you have to say and elaborate about the CSR?
You see, after hearing everyone here, it is very interdependent process to achieve this goal. It's between producer, distributor, channels, government, act, and the content creator. One side you need content creator in such a brilliant way. Once that you make a film, you make a content which attract millions of the people. So what you need is creative people behind it. And what creative people need a producer who can take a risk. Then go and make and ask him that I want to have a 100 crore rupees business on this kid's film. Can you think of a subject? And he will come to you. He or she or we, 100 में से एक आएगा आपके पास. But he has to have incentive that I will be recognized. Now, who controls this? The producer, then the broadcaster, or the exhibition or the distributions. So the whole program has to be collectively be encouraged. खाली उससे भी नहीं कि गवर्नमेंट ने एक्ट कह दिया पास कर दिया तो हो गया और इन्होंने कहा कि 65% कंटेंट हमारा इंडियन है. उसकी एक्सीलेंस क्या है? What is this excellence? मेरे जितने भी बच्चे हैं, मेरे खुद के जो ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन हैं, वो आईपैड चिल्ड्रन हैं सब. वो सारा दिन वही देखते रहते हैं फॉरेन्स की. कितने हमारे 5 से ज़्यादा चैनल नहीं हैं जो कि हमारे कंटेंट दिखाते हैं और उसमें भी 65% कंटेंट जो है उनका फॉरेन से होता है. अभी हमारा जो ध्येय है, जो मुद्दा है कि हम अपने बच्चों को इंडियन बनाना चाहते हैं, मेक इंडियन. उसकी दिशा में जाने के लिए हम सबको अपने तरीके से ऑनेस्टली सोचना पड़ेगा और जड़ को सोचना पड़ेगा. We should educate children in school and colleges. I met HR minister last month and I told her, I said, listen, this is most important thing that you introduce in schools only, one subject, one curriculum for creative art. That they must be connected to one kind of art, dance, drama, music, story writing, speech, poetry. Do you start from them? In primary school also, in the schools also, higher secondary schools and college also. So this is very, very important. Then that is how we will create a content creators. Content trader अलग है, content creator अलग है. उसके पर law and policies अलग हैं. But we can encourage them. And who can encourage them? Money. Where comes money? Money brings money. But then this time the government has to come in the support. They should not think that a children film है, ये क्या होगा, इसको 25 करोड़ रुपए दे दो, 30 करोड़ रुपए दे दो. They should understand the importance of the whole thing, so that everybody who's involved gets his share, his piece of money. Also, that is so he is encouraged to do that. So this initiative has to come from either government or the CSR, who have responsibility, the social responsibility, and they have their share to contribute their money for these kind of causes. This is called a building, making Indian. I really congratulate for coining this word, and I am going to use many times. They make Indians. So it's very important that CSR, the sector must understand that it has to be used this way. This is called for next generation. For current generation, fine. For the next generation. Once they understand it, they will do it. Thank you.
I think the sense of responsibility is something which is really right. My final question to Neena. Last year or year before that, we discussed about.
I like why Subhash said, be honest about it. So you see, we need today honesty, which is more important.
Right. So.